We have come to affirm to the fact that dual citizenship should be accepted in Liberia. But first, let me inform each and every one of us about the definition of the word dual citizenship. Dual citizenship simply means to be a citizen of two distinct nations, through just solely, just sankulas, and documents. And from that standpoint of definition, I would love to highlight three distinct points about dual citizenship. One, dual citizenship will democratize the politics of Liberia. Now, what am I saying? Dual citizenship or democracy needs the participation of informed and engaged citizens. Two, dual citizenship will foster the economic development of Liberia. What am I saying? If people are given the right to be citizens of Liberia and have the oath of allegiance to this nation, for free I tell you that they will develop this nation because they have the oath of allegiance to this nation. Thirdly, dual citizenship will reduce the chance of war between two nations, specifically Liberia. Let me give you an example. If UNID, we accept the Guineans to consider them as dual citizens of Liberia, it will be very, very difficult for war to come to Liberia, because whenever they thought of bringing war to Liberia, they would think of their parents, they would think of their family, they would think of their brothers and sisters that are in Liberia. My fellow students, final objective. To conclude, the need to change is apparent. The need to seek people of expertise, the need to seek people that have experience is a responsibility that no Liberian can ignore. Even though my opponent may say that dual citizenship will slow down the development of Liberia. But remember, Liberia had independence 158 years, and they have not yet met their scope of development. But with the presence of expertise, with the presence of people of experience, Liberia will be developed.
My team and I are here today to stand, to default and stand against the propositions that states that Liberia should accept dual citizenship for the following reasons. One, allegiance and sovereignty won't be paid to the country because of second country of thought. What am I saying? That is, if we allow a Caucasian race or a Caucasian person with a white skin color to be a citizen of Liberia, that person will give his allegiance or loyalty to his home, his birth origin, America, Italy, or so on. That is such person, Liberia as a third world country, and America as a first world country. Liberia honor development, and America is a developed country in a stem of property insurance, healthcare treatment, good management of facilities, economic and social development. These are facilities that he is enjoying here. When he comes here, he won't pay his allegiance to Liberia, taking oath or anything. My second reason for saying this is double taxation, which involves, we all understand that when this person becomes the citizen of Liberia and that of America, he has to pay tax to America and that of Liberia. Liberia as an underdeveloping country does not have a tax payment amount up to America. That person, if he resides as a public official from America and as a citizen, if Liberia accepts dual citizenship, and he is faced with the responsibilities to pay hefty tax to the United States government. United States of America mandates all her citizens in diaspora and even in the country to pay tax to them wherever you are part of the world. If that person is a public official here, we will experience a total massive exploitation of our resources in which that person is serving in an institution in Liberia. 3, in government of bad culture. We understand that Liberia is or enclosed society. We understand that Liberia is not exposed. You see cultures such as homosexualism, lesbianism, smoking of weed. If we just allow dual citizenship in our nation, people from abroad, from the Western world, they are exposed to these things. And they will come and influence our tradition, our traditional norms and customs, which is a total abomination to African culture and Liberian culture. We stand against this because it's a Luciferic and a satanic act. My fourth reason for saying it is extraction of resources. We understand that a person who has been in diaspora or who is now, we know most of them, like the other Jordan P., other they calling, they are the one promoting dual citizenship to be signed by our legislature. It's totally wrong. They have deprived their citizenship of Liberia. They deny their country. Then why should we allow these people back to come and sit down and say they want to become citizens, and which they won't pay full loyalty and allegiance to the nation?
And I'm here to strongly affirm upon the proposal that Liberia should accept dual citizenship. First of all, looking at dual citizenship, what do we mean by dual citizenship? Dual citizenship is a form of citizenship in which we have a person, an individual, having an entitlement of being citizen to two nations. Let's look at the advantages of being of a nation accepting dual citizenship. Right now, Liberia as a nation is experiencing what we call brain drain. If we accept dual citizenship in the Republic of Liberia, those academicians, intellectuals that are form and vanguard of academics in the Western world will be free or feel free to come back in the Republic of Liberia to invest in the academic sector. Therefore, providing competent doctors, engineers, and you name it all, to facilitate in the development process of the Republic of Liberia. Liberia should accept dual citizenship in order to quicken or fasten the development process, because there are so many people, so many academicians, so many well-learned people out there that are not free to come in Liberia. But if we accept dual citizenship in the Republic of Liberia, these people are going to come back and build a whole lot of high facilities, a whole lot of big constructions, and bring development in the country.
And yet defending the chaos topic, one of the most reliable and disrespectful topic in the history of the Republic of Liberia, to accept dual citizenship. I say it's a road to that, and I say today in the open agora, there is an unpredictable volcanic eruption. Comrades, today if we accept dual citizenship in Liberia as a whole, we allow the aspect of encouragement of corruption. Comrades, we are not in a habit to encourage corruption, we are in a habit to minimize corruption. Today, if you allow people who have the aspect of dual citizenship, there will be a transporting of our financial budget to the Republic of Liberia. Today, we understand that in the Republic of Liberia, our budget is suffered because the aliens in our budget are not set properly. Today, you find out that in our countries, that their mission, our intention to our nation is very poor, comrades. We are not in a habit to accept dual citizenship because it's a practice to eliminate the aspect of the economic system in the Republic of Liberia. Today, we'd like to say today, is no march today on the topic that we'll debate on it to allow our topic and our voice be wasted. Because I will tell you that the aspect of dual citizenship involves inequality in the economic system. Today, we understand that the Negro descent will be disenchanted, will be marginalized, that to the extent they will be transported back to our native land. They will be transported back to our birthland. They will be transported on their way to their homeland, because we understand that cities in Wassurado will be very expensive, that they will leave their land, their motherland, and transport themselves back to their land. Comrades, I'd like to say today, I'd like to contrast with people. I'd like to contrast our honorable moderators. I'd like to contrast our honorable debaters. That today, do not allow or scams or mirage or fallacy or disenchanted words to let it go free. Because today, we are your Messiah. We are here to preach the political gospel to all political unbelievers who are here today to seek the dreams of the Republic of Liberia, to go forth in the hands of the wicked people, to go forth in the hands of people who are demolished our traditional practice, to go in the hands of people who are denied the right of their forefathers, to go in the hands of people who are disabled the land and accept all traditional practices. Today we are here today to advise and contrast with people. I rest my peace today and I remain constant on my post that dual citizenship will not be a lie in Liberia as long as our quota GCSA is alive and as long my generation live on.
Having sat down for a period of time, listening to the expose and the expatiation of some of my colleagues, it kept me worried. I keep asking myself, why should colleagues, why should intellectuals sit here before they kind of a distinct body and use a minute in 5 hours to say nothing? It's not encouraging. The government should be responsible to monitor, to control the process of goods in the Liberian market because of one, low revenue. Economically, if government interfere into the Liberian economy, into the Liberian operation on the market system for a pure monopoly, why you find posting it different commodities? Government, when you say monitor, gentlemen, monitor is different for control. When you say monitor, it's just to sit and watch the market. It totally contradicts the principle of Adam Smith, the invisible hand. If government interfere into the market, the pure monopoly, what happens that they will scare away competition. They will form cartel. What is cartel? Cartel in economy simply refers to two or more entities coming together. At any day, we scare away more customers. Liberia will suffer. The Liberian government attempted in April 12, 1979. It's very clear, everything sure, to control the price of rice from $12 per pound of bread to $36. I'm calling the judges. Our brothers were killed, blood were shed, people died, people were intimidated, people were harassed, people were savaged, people were recommended, people were inclement. But capitalism in a mixed economic system, capitalism is formed by a mixed economic system. In a mixed economic system, it's supposed to cause a comparison to call a pure monopoly. What is a pure monopoly? You don't even understand the analysis because it's just teaching memorizing. There's not memorization thing out. Liberians have always lived on memorization.
Talk about mixed economic, we are saying both the government and that of private sector work side by side, and in which the government participates intensively. Do you understand the word intensively? Do you really understand the word intensively? We are discussing management. We are discussing supervision. We are discussing regulating. We are discussing control of prices on the Liberian market. Back to the issue. One thing I want you to understand, in your mixed economic system, my opponent team, prices of goods and services are determined by both the rich and the poor. It advertises the system in your sense that it appears to be a capitalist system of government. It appears to be a capital system of economic in which there will be division. We will see that the rich will go for what they can buy and the poor will go for what they can buy. So, my opponent team, you are getting the whole topic wrong. We are not talking about monopoly here. We are discussing responsibility to control price, and we know that is the influence of the government. And I'm sure we all just said in school. Do you know what our government is? Do you really know what our government is? I will tell you today that our government, organized body of people that are charged with the responsibility of of controlling and coordinating the affairs of a country, and that includes control of prices. If you don't know, another function of a government is to what? Stabilize the economy. And my dear opponents, you all know what stabilization means. I'm sure you people are intellectuals, and as such, you should know what stabilization means. Stabilization means controlling, supervising, and that of management. If you don't know, you should know today.
Government is responsible to control prices of goods on the Liberian market. We have a difference of It's 8 points. We have Team A, G.W. Gibson. And then we have Team B, Monrovia College, acronym CWA. And the winner is G.W. Gibson. Okay, y'all with the score of 99. Y'all had a perfect score, some of your speakers. Then Monrovia College had 91. And we would like to congratulate your team. You're doing an amazing job, but just the thought process and how with your examples. And I will say for the record, your last presenter did an excellent, trying to, clarify some of the things and you presented your facts. Thank you all, and we will be available. Thank you.
I'm so honored to stay with the head judge, our ambassador. Nice meeting you, ma'am. What do you have to say to the audience about today's competition, ma'am?
Well, I think it's a good start because building your debating skill helps you with your analytical thinking process. Also, as a great debater, it helps you sharpen your skills in a lot of it's a transferable skill set. And I told the students it's a good forum. There can only be one winner, and they all did an excellent job. But notwithstanding, they still have work to do. It's just the beginning, and I'm happy that Divine Event and Consultancy group decided to put this together.
All right, ma'am, what do you have to say to the other public enterprises in Liberia in order to support Divine Event and Consultancy?
I think helping to sharpen students' intellectual thought process is so needed. And I will say this, all the students that were here today, and I told them that they can even find entry-level job in public relationship firms. It's a very unique skill. So I'm also happy to the organizer for trying to work and sharpen the skill sets that we have good public speakers, because even as a teacher, you have to know how to present your information. Even if someone will be lawmakers, you can have the most wonderful budget, the most wonderful law, but if you do not know how to present yourself in forums. So I think I want to thank the organizer. It's a good start, and I will work with them to see how best we can improve our public speaking skills. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Debaters of St. Teresa Convent Catholic High School have come forth after accumulating sufficient and reliable facts to lend credence to the topic, which states that teachers are responsible for the massive failure in schools. In commencing this argument, I would like for us to look at the key words being used in this topic along with their definitions. They are A, teacher. According to my Magnetic English Dictionary, a teacher is a person who teaches to impart knowledge into his or her students. Responsible means answerable for an act performed or for its consequences. Massive means pertaining to a large mass. And failure is a state or condition of not meeting with a desirable or intended objective, while school is an institution that is dedicated to teaching and learning. For Firstly, the most noticeable reason for the massive failure of students in schools is the issue of incompetent, unqualified, and substandard teachers. With mostly incompetent teachers teaching our schools, there is no way pupils can achieve the purpose of going to schools by acquiring both knowledge and good morals. Incompetent teachers do not practice professionalism in executing their duties. Therefore, such teachers cannot be expected to fully impart knowledge into their students proficiently. Teachers knowingly present poor lessons to their students without no focus, and at the end, the only result they receive from their students are poor performances. Faculty mood lighting. This means teachers teach 3 to 4 schools, and at the end, the only result they receive is the massive failure of students in schools. Secondly, majority of our teachers are not qualified. Teaching should be a full-time profession and not just a part-time job, as many people deem it these days. Today in the world, we have teachers who didn't attend teachers' colleges, teaching high schools, and even universities. If a teacher didn't attend a teacher's college, you don't expect him or her to be acquainted with the rules and regulations that govern a classroom.
According to the Educational Reform Act of 2011, which was signed on August 8, teachers are all licensed facilitators of learning through the entire educational system. We come to responsible. Responsible is a word that bears a lot of weight. Responsible means to be held liable for something or having the obligation to do something. Failure. And I cannot remember myself being a failure. Failure means the opposite of success and to be incapable of progress. With these in mind, I would like to give you sacrosanct reasons why teachers are not responsible for the massive failure of students in schools. But I repeat, the students themselves, the parents, the school authorities, and the government is to be held reliable for the massive failure of students in schools. We should all remember that to everyone there is a responsibility attached. We should also go to the students, the judges, the school authorities, the government, and the parents. Teachers are responsible to give information by presenting the lesson according to the national curriculum given by the government. Students guide the class and direct where the class is headed. Students or teachers give a clear lesson plan and explain that lesson plan. And in return, teachers expect students to study, do all of their homeworks, and focus. Teachers are also responsible for presenting materials to students in order for them to learn it. In order for them to learn it, in short, teachers teach. As a result, teachers attend teachers' colleges and learn simple methods like the teacher-teacher method, the teacher-student method, and the student-teacher method, for which I must applaud and commend them for, because they have been overly dedicated to their work. Coming to myself as a student, my one and foremost primary goal is to learn. As a result, I must study. If teachers are licensed facilitators of learning, it means that they were entrusted by the society, by the parents, and by all other sectors of society to empower and impart the poor students who go to school with knowledge. But if these teachers are not working up to that task, if these teachers are now neglecting their duties, who should we blame? The licensed facilitators or the poor students who only go to school with the intention of learning? Also, our opponents here are saying that if government increases the allotment of money given to schools, then the performances of teachers will increase. I think that we shouldn't believe such an argument, because firstly,
It is the duty of the government to give money, right? But it's also the duty of the teacher to teach the students. Whether the teacher is collecting enough money for government, whether the government is in support of what the teacher does. The fact that you are a teacher, it means you have the passion. It means you have the skills. It means you have the attributes that a teacher should possess. So therefore, you are expected to teach the students whether or not you are expecting money from government or not.
Moderator is students and teachers go about teaching class and students sit. And then the government and school authority, they don't provide libraries, computer lab, Mr. Moderator, scientific labs. Do you think it will be very easy for students to understand the practical aspect of learning? No. Who is responsible for providing those requisite and important materials? Is it the responsibility of the teacher to provide that for learning? No. It is the responsibility of school authorities, government for public schools. This is why we are saying in order to balance our learning environment, I should be very inclined and very proactive. We have to have practical and theory. It is left with the school administration and the government to provide practical materials, Mr. Moderator, in order for teachers to work about teaching practical things. When this is not done, we should not dodge. We should assume responsibility. The government should assume responsibility. School authorities should assume responsibility for providing requisite materials. It is not a responsibility of a teacher. Please understand that.
And give you the results now. For St. Teresa's Convent, obtained, no, do I want to go through? I should go through. Introductory statement, 10. Accuracy of information, 18. Persuasiveness, 19. Knowledge of topic, 19. Timing, 9 over 10, 9 over 10. Presentation, 10 over 10. Closing statement, 10 over 10. Total, 95%. Lynn Miller. Introductory statement, 10. Accuracy of information, 19. Persuasiveness, 19. Knowledge of topic, 19. Timing, 9. Presentation, 10. Closing statement, 10. Average. Right. They have 96. So Lynn Miller.
Society is always a society. And what am I trying to say? If a society could be a society, there are bad people and good people as well. And if there are bad people and good people as well, whenever you are trying, you bring people to light, you should keep and analyze issues critically that people will understand what are you seeing. And this is what I mean. Today, the young people that we have, they are capable. They influence people. These are all the charisma, the criteria that you as a leader have to possess before you become a leader. And there are young people here. We have Japan today, which is Mambu Johnson, the man who determined, an entrepreneur who took over his own duty to provide this. My panel of judges, as I said it earlier, I say information are free. And this information, I'm going to share it with you. And you know about these people. This is Benjamin. We have Judy Moe, Patrick Sandolo, Mambu Johnson, Abel Plaki, and also you go at the World Trade Center. These people are there waiting to take over the leadership. They are well capable and qualified to take leadership. You can have it for your perusal. And conclude, I want to tell you, and we still remain constant, that young people are prepared to take over leadership.
Firstly, my opponent, the second team member, said that the United Nations is, of course, it's a global institution, but we're in Africa, so we're listening to the African Youth Chapter. But are you trying to say that the United Nations is not important after all the support they've given to nations in Africa, including Liberia? So are you trying to say the United Nations is obsolete? I think not. Secondly, my last opponent mentioned the World Trade Center. Funny thing, the World Trade Center is well known for a place where you can go to forge high school documents and other fake certificates. What a shame. Now, it might strike you as odd that I, as a youth, would oppose youth ruling or taking over the country. But I ask you this. If I see my fellow youths are spoiled, lazy, degenerated, and extremely rude, do you think I would want them to rule over me, moreover a whole country? First of all, let's look at Liberia as it stands now. Many older persons are in top government positions, though there are also some young ones mixed among them. These people are struggling to help our country rise above. And yet, our country is still struggling, as I said before. So then, if the older persons are still struggling to bring the country up, how do you expect the youth to do any better? Do you really think these youth will blaze their own trail? Of course, you might think, where is her faith in her generation? And I say it's been proven history repeats itself. And the only way we can break free of that repetition is through bold determination, that which I fear is lacking in most youths of Liberia today. Oh yes, Liberian youth do know how to protest something which they think is wrong, but look at the way they do it. For example, when the Minister of Education said schools should close, Liberian youth called a mass gathering at the Capitol building, and they said we were going to have a peaceful protest. It didn't take long for things to start getting out of hand. I saw students passing liquor and rubbing alcohol around and drinking freely. Some jumped in front of cars and refused to move until their colleagues dragged them out of the way. Some uttered obscene language against George Warner and others and blasted senseless slogans. The police had to line up before students could be persuaded to stop their unbecoming tantrums. Are those the youth that are prepared to take over Liberia? These same youth who are protesting the closure of school, how many attend classes regularly? How many take their lessons seriously? How many choose to pay for grades instead of studying?
2 minutes.
It's interesting to note how teachers perceive their students. I asked the teacher what he thought about students, and he said they are lazy and would rather take the money given them for lunch than to study. Even the smart students have become dull because they're tired of the warped system and given up on their brains. Do you think someone who refuses to learn and refuses to use their brain should be ruling us? Do you think they're prepared to take over Liberia? I don't think so. Statistics states that at least 9 out of 10 students admit to paying for grades one time or another in their life. I believe that is 10 out of 10. The other ones weren't telling the truth. As the Bible says, my people perish for lack of knowledge. The effects of the lack of knowledge have begun to show. Youth graduate from college and are unable to prove what they supposedly learned on the job. As a result, they run away. I asked two elderly people what they thought about the youth of Liberia as a whole, and they stated the line I used in the beginning. They are lazy, spoiled, degenerated, and extremely rude. How do you expect a lazy ruler to build a productive country? A spoiled and degenerated ruler will not comprehend basic moral laws, because if someone is degenerated, it means they have lost their morals. And what about an extremely rude ruler? It's been proven that rude people have no discipline. So basically, we're asking for spoiled, undisciplined.
Now you are academicians, and when you go and meet other academicians, you should know how to present your facts. You do not present facts that you cannot substantiate. We look for the dates, they were not there. We look for who published it, we couldn't find it, and therefore they were not admitted. Number two, for the SDA High School. The SDA High School referred to a gentleman called Benjamin Samvi and some interaction he had with a previous government. That had nothing to do with the debate. And therefore, we could not admit it. So we threw it out. Next time you go to debate, stick to the topic. Do not think you're talking to emotional judges. Some of us been doing this thing before you were around. So don't think you can do that to us. Therefore, we expel that also. Now we go down the line. We have for G.W. Gibson High School, we have 53 points. G.W. Gibson High School. For the SDA High School, we have 61 points. And now, it is my honor to formally sign this verdict and present it to the sponsors. I did not sign it before now, so that if anybody has stolen this paper from me before I came up here, it will not be valid. I'm signing it now.
In concluding, we'd like to say thank you and congratulations to both schools. Keep it up, and we wish you the best.